What up? Big Herc 916, positivity, motivation. Shout out to Muscle Up Detail Spray. The only detail spray I use on my whips. In between washes, I use it on my exterior of my car. It's good for ceramic coat. It's good for anything on the exterior of your car, your wrap, and have your car looking wet. Yeah, man. This video, I want to give a shout out to Kwame Brown and, his voice, which has been a strong voice on social media over the past couple weeks. I've never met the man. I would love to have him on my show, fresh out. But, him speaking out just about masculinity, about, black role models in the community, about overcoming adversity. I think it's a breath of fresh air, because here's someone who was drafted into the NBA at the age of 17, who had a rough childhood, was able to get past all that without getting arrested, without becoming a drug addict, a thug, made it to the NBA at 17, was drafted first round, first pick, and went to a team that didn't want him, was going to use him for a trade, was beat up emotionally by one of the supposed, quote unquote, GOATs of the NBA, didn't break down, was able to still maintain a career in the league for 13 years, having grown men, talk about him throughout his career. And here it is, 20 years later, this guy, well-spoken, successful, is not, homeless and didn't mess up all his NBA money, and is speaking contrary to everybody else who's riding the wave, who's basically, doing what they think is socially acceptable by the media in order to maintain a job. And this guy just doesn't give a damn, and it's not even not giving a damn. He's just being honest, and he's talking some real talk. I mean, one of the most profound things I heard him say was, how could he be a bust if at 17 he bought his mom a house on the golf course? A 17-year-old buying his mom a house, you know what I mean? And it's like, dude, when you think about the maturity of a 17-year-old and the fact that he still has something to show for, and he's not emotionally traumatized by having been just mentally assaulted by all these different individuals, going from, team to team, dealing with these guys. First it was, Jordan, then he went to, Kobe, and trying to live up to expectations. It's amazing, man. I commend him, and I think more strong black male figures like him should come out, and they're starting to come out now because they're supporting him and what he's saying, which a lot of people weren't really ready to come out and say, because they're afraid of the backlash. See, the thing about Kwame, he doesn't care about the backlash. He doesn't care what people are going to say after the fact, and I mean, dude, I give him, he's got balls, and we need more men like him speaking out, I get backlash all the time. Oh, you're an ex-felon. Oh, you're an ex-porn star. Oh, who are you to try to give advice? Blah, 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 blah. Well, why not? I've lived it. I've been through it. I own up to it. I'm not ducking it and pretending that I'm some religious fanatic or I'm some faker. I'm not telling these kids toting guns, talking about how gangster it was. I'm telling you that it was a loser mentality. It was a loser lifestyle, and it almost cost me my life. So when I speak from the heart. And, one of the reasons I'm not at a certain number of subscribers on Fresh Out or Big Herc is because I don't endorse that. And I've reached out to a number of different people, in the rap community who talk all this stuff about, when it comes time for the police, but they don't want to talk about anything about what's going on with the black on black. I talk about it all the time, and I try to get them to come on the show and say, hey, man, I know you might rap about certain things, but let's give these kids the real, because, it's not worth it on the backside of that, and I can't get any of them to come on Fresh Out and speak on it because it'll hurt their sales. It'll hurt their image. They want to maintain that image. And really, what is that image? Is that what you want your kid? Do you ever want your kid to catch a murder beef? Do you want your kid to be considered some OG because he killed somebody? You're going to go see him every week, hold his hand in the penitentiary? Come on, man. Quit lying to yourself, man. But that's what we live in. We live in a toxic society that endorses very ignorant behavior, and then the people who talk about it haven't lived it, but yet they profit from it. But the ones who have lived it, they're not, some of them are giving up the real, but a lot of them don't want to speak on it. And I'm one of the first to lay down the foundation for that with Fresh Out and actually show that, you can change. You could be somebody positive. You can positively impact others. And that's what I've been doing, is impacting a lot of other people who have made better choices. And, I like to see the young kid who says, hey, Big Herc, I play an instrument. Oh man, I'm taking piano lessons. Oh, Big Herc, I just learned how to, ride my skateboard. I'm doing this. You don't have to be no gangster thug. You ain't got to be out here, representing to be somebody in life. That's some bullshit, man. I say it all the time. I wish I would have stuck with skateboarding. Maybe I would have been, one of the Black Tony Hawks, or, one of the pioneers in the X Games. They didn't have all that when I was growing up. Wish I would have stuck with BMXing. All that stuff that would have kept me out of the streets and selling dope. But, if I would have, could have, should have, but my path has led me to where I am now, which is why I can speak firsthand, because I've lived the life. And I'm not a faker. I'm not a dude who's pretentious. And I tell you right now, a lot of these dudes, if they really did half the shit they did, they'd be in jail, man. They'd already have done time. They'd be up in there and you wouldn't hear from them. So don't let these dudes lie to you. But at the same time, man, Kwame Brown, man, to speak on what he speaks on, and, he has the ability because of his having lived that life, and been there, done that. I'm just, it's a breath of fresh air to hear a brother talking about social issues, about these guys who are trying to pretend to be gangsters that think it's going to get them somewhere, and, lying to the, putting a false in persona for these youngsters. And I'm telling you, man, it's this garbage. It's garbage to think that, a kid needs to be a gangster. Nerds are winning. The nerds are the ones who are getting ahead in life, and, they're the ones accomplishing success. But we need a balance with the masculinity of the young men with the male role models, and the fact that, hey, man, you can be a professional and still win. You can be a square and still win. It's not about oh, man, you got to be in the streets and hanging out to be doing all this stuff to be somebody. That's some bullshit. But shout out to Kwame, man. I try to watch as many of his videos as I can to get, just inspiration. He did a great video with Judge Joe Brown, who laid out a lot of stuff, man. And, I just think that, these guys who are a voice of fresh air are really going to trailblaze for others like myself and other people who are trying to get rid of this ignorant persona and a perpetuation of stupidity, which, leads a lot of these guys to a dead end. So shout out to Kwame Brown, man. Big Herc 916.
Hello, I'm Big Herc 916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking. Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.